Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Clint Initiative podcast. We've got a message for you, and we will be right back. Hello, and welcome to the Clint Initiative podcast. What is the Clint Initiative? Well, Clint Initiative is a multi-phase project to create entertainment here in Minnesota and to distribute that entertainment to the world, starting with this podcast. This podcast is the seed from which everything else will grow. The Clint Initiative is about great music. The Clint Initiative is about great live entertainment. The Clint Initiative is about a sketch show. The Clint Initiative is about short films, very short films, feature films, and other film content. As I said, this podcast is the seed from which this initiative will grow, and so far, it's been going like gangbusters. If you want to know how to do a podcast, listen to the Clint Initiative. If you want to know how to do an album, how to find musicians, how to get it recorded, how to get it mixed down, how to distribute it, and how to get a fan base, listen to the Clint Initiative. If you want to know how to put together a sketch show, how to make sure that it's good, and create more content over a short period of time, you're listening to the Clint Initiative, and we will help you get there. If you are thinking about making a short film, you need to be listening to the Clint Initiative. If you're thinking about making a feature film, you want to be listening to the Clint Initiative. You might even want to be on the Clint Initiative, because that's one of the things we believe in here at the Clint Initiative. We believe that we are a big tent. If you're ready to create, if you're ready to talk about creating, if you're ready to be about it and get it done, we want to talk to you. This is the Clint Initiative. My name is Paul, and my co-hosts are Katie, Clint, and Jamel. And we are live every Thursday at noon, Minnesota time. So come on and check us out. If you are interested in creating content, if you're interested in creating movies, music, television, films, short films, and feature films, then you want to get in touch with us here at the Clint Initiative. Our email address is theclintpodcast@gmail.com. That's theclintpodcast@gmail.com. Shoot us an email, be a part of our growth at the Clint Initiative podcast. And now, back to the show. Okay, everyone, so what are we doing? We're throwing it at the wall. We are throwing it at the wall. We're throwing it at the wall. We are throwing it at the wall. We're throwing it at the wall. We are throwing it at the wall to see what sticks. Come on, what are we doing? Till a dollar a la pez. Estamos. A la pez.
Estamos.
Estamos. Dollar a la pez.
Estamos.
Estamos. Dollar a la pez. A ver que se pega. Yeah. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another in our series of weekly episodes of the Clint Initiative podcast.
Hey, Katie!
We upgraded just a little with the theme song.
How did he
Putting
do?
the words up seems to help me, so I figured I'd do it. And for people who have been watching the show, and right now we do have people who are watching, every week, the first thing I do is I check in with my co-hosts to get an update about what matters to them and what's going on with them. And as always, what we're going to do is we're going to check in with Katie first. So, Katie, you're let me see. And as you can see, technical difficulty is going to happen because I'm still learning the platform. So, Katie, you are now at center stage. How is your day going or your week going so far?
It's going great. Thank you. I'm just focusing on my health right now. So it's going good.
Well, I hope that we will get people who will send out prayers to you, and hopefully it will all go well, because we've got to do the show every week. But other than that, your health is more important. So next, we're going to go ahead and we're going to go to Clint. Clint, How is your week and your day going so far?
Jamal, shut up. I am just full of joy. I'm feeling so bubbly because God has been so good. I am thanking Him for healing, health, and strength because during the past couple of months, things wasn't going too well, but I was keeping my faith. And like I said, I'm your boy here, CG, here to keep you free, bring you love and hope, and my cup of tea.
Okay, he's got that cup of tea. So I'm glad you got your cup of tea because I have my cup of coffee. Okay, my disappearing coffee. So Jamel, looks like you're up on deck, man. So what have you got for the people today? How's it going?
Hey everyone, everything's going great. It's a lovely day outside. The sun is shining, and even when the sun isn't shining, it's up to us to bring that sunshine. So that's pretty much all I gotta say is today I got my bottle of water.
Wow, it seems like your mic may not be on point there, Jamel, but hopefully it'll get better as the show goes on. So after I check in with the co-host, the next thing that we have is I like to ask you guys a random question. I guess first I have to tell people what's going on with me. Well, what I want to do is I want to talk about Teacher Appreciation Week. And about in life there, things are going well with me setting up the show, but Teacher Appreciation Week is a really big week for me because there are a lot of teachers in my life that had an impact on my life when I was growing up. And I think that everyone here has that one teacher. We all have that one teacher who we'll never forget, who had a real impact on our lives. So because it's Teacher Appreciation Week, I want to use my time to just throw that out there. So before we move on, does anyone have anything else to add? Jamel, how's your mic, man?
Is that better?
That seems better. Okay, so now people who watch the show know I like to ask a random question. And I like to give you guys two choices. So the first choice is some of your favorite movie lines, or since it's also Mother's Day at the end of this week, a Mother's Day story. So that's our random question. Some of your favorite movie lines or a Mother's Day story. Which one would you guys like to do?
Movie line for me. I'm all about the movies.
How about
I'll go with
Katie?
the flow, whichever one, whoever choose whatever one. But
Yeah, I agree with Clint on this one.
Mother's Day brings back too much of memories.
Hey, I'm gonna assume that Jamel is gonna go right along with that. So,
Wow, you got it.
Okay, so I'm gonna come to each of you guys, and I want you to give me a favorite movie line. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put you center stage, and you just hit me with one of your favorite movie lines. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Katie, you're first.
Okay. So the actress Viola Davis, I love her. She's so powerful. Yeah. So one of her lines that she says is, "When you don't forgive somebody, you give them the power over your life." And I'm gonna say that in Spanish because it's such a powerful line. Pero es cuando no perdones a alguien, le das el poder sobre tu vida. So it's just so. Yeah, it hit home for me. So that was a good one.
Oh yeah, that was
okay. So since Clint is there speaking up, I'm gonna go to you, Clint. Give me one of your favorite movie lines.
Okay, you ready for this one? All right, let me get ready for it. Go ahead, make my day. Clint Eastwood. Clint Eastwood from 1983, Sudden Impact.
Okay, so here we go. Jamel, you're up on deck, man. What's one of your favorite movie lines?
I probably stole it from him already.
Dang it, Clint. I guess I really don't have a favorite line because there's so many that I always quote because I always like to quote the funny ones, during time periods. But uh, yeah, for me, it's just there's just too many to have a favorite.
Well, since there's many, you could pick one. Come on, I want to
You
hear.
can't pick one line, Jamel. Come on, man. You can't. What's the first line you remember, man? Come on, give me the first thing you remember. Anything.
The first line I remember.
Yeah, like if you had to remember one right now.
I guess he can't handle the truth.
So, Jamel, is that true? Can you not handle the truth?
Well, I guess I'll do it in my Rocky voice. One that is kind of comedic, but at the same time is powerful because he's using someone to help him overcome something. And it's I gotta say Rocky Balboa, so the movie is Rocky. Adrian! Adrian!
Well, there you go. That's perfect.
The face and everything, beautiful.
You got the accent there.
And my all-time.
If you're gonna say it, you gotta say it right, right?
Of course you gotta say it right. It sounds like you have a stroke or something.
Oh no.
And my all-time favorite movie line that I use all the time because Arnold Schwarzenegger, he's an icon.
I think I know where you're going with that one.
And I use this line all the time. I go into a store, I go anywhere, I say it, people know exactly what I'm saying.
I'm going to lip sync to it. I know what you're going to say.
I'll be back. I'll be back.
I know it.
And I always have to do it with that Arnold, I'll be back. You don't say back, I'll be back.
There's also there's a famous line from that same movie that he used. Is it in Spanish? Some other language.
No.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Yeah, hasta la vista, baby. Yeah, but that one line, I'll be back. You can say that to anyone, anywhere, and they will know exactly what you're talking about. That movie is so iconic that they will know exactly what you're talking
Great. As like what we're doing here, planning to do with our short films and stuff, it's all about great writing. It's memorable, it's catchy, it remains there in your brain. Any little child or 6-year-old could remember that.
Yeah,
the lines are very catchy.
Those
and
memorable
iconic.
lines like, and I'm here with my tea.
Setting the spirit free.
I've got everybody has their lines they say that people remember. And this is the point in the show where we talk about our only sponsor right now. Our only sponsor is my company, Cycle Forward Films. And this is also a time where I get to talk about things that are happening with movies, things that we have done. And I get to just show people our proofs of concept when we have them. But in addition to that, I have a video that I showed Jamel that now I'm going to show to the audience. One of the things in the future that we want to do is we want to do film festivals. So there is a film festival here called the Twin City Film Festival. And last year, Jamel took me to that festival and showed me around. So I also videotaped some of that. So I want to show that to the audience. But before I show that to the audience, I want to throw a shout out to two of our first founders who donated to the show.
Hey.
We've got Devin and we've got Joe.
Whoa!
I just want to give them a shout out because every bit of support that we get for the show guarantees that every week we're going to be able to do the show. We're going to be able to come to you live, and we're going to be able to eventually have our studio, and we're going to start making our sketch show. And from our sketch show, we're going to have short films. And when we do have those short films will be able to be showed at the film festival that I'm going to show a small clip from now. While the clip is showing, we all can chime in and add to it. Jamel, you can chime in as well. We also ran into some people that know Jamel, so here we go. Okay, so I'm going to start it from the beginning. Doing things like this is also a proof of concept. So that when we start filming, people will know, hey, the capability is there. Have either of you guys ever been down to the film fest before? Clint or Katie? Clint, have you ever been to the film festival?
Yeah. But I probably went about once and I fell asleep on the whole I'm just being honest.
I had to turn down the volume on that. I guess I can turn it up when Jamel starts talking.
Okay, so Jamel, tell me, man, when are they going to show your film here? And what's the name of your film?
I guess we'll have to see for next year.
And what's the name of your film?
But for now, you'll be able to see us on the Clint Initiative podcast. And then everything will grow from there.
And when is that podcast coming?
That podcast is going to be launched in February, so stay tuned.
So, Katie, have you ever been down to the film festival?
No, I have not.
Well, as you can see, it's pretty big. And it looks like they certainly have no problem getting sponsors, huh?
The drink, not the dose.
Cannabis infused.
Say again?
I said cannabis infused. Sounds interesting.
They were giving out free samples, so I figured I got to show.
Hey, Bill Cooper.
What, on a scale of 1 to 10,
He's,
how would you rate
he's
him as
also
an
a
actor?
good teacher. I was
A plus.
in one of his
Best
classes.
student, right?
This guy,
This is my
this guy was in our very first promo we did
Yes, when it was at Block E.
when it was at Block E
Somebody
15 years ago. We shot that 15 years ago, and he's been around since.
years. Yeah, some years.
So you have to say how many years
My
have you been
photographer.
photographing Jamel?
Like 5 at least.
Really?
5 years. Yeah, because one of our very first shoots was the vampire shoot with Dallas.
Really?
Yeah, on his ranch. Yeah.
He was also good. He's a really good photographer.
Okay. burn. Smells sweet, dark soup. Hope you guys are ready. I love that T-shirt right there.
What's the number one thing that you would want the world to know about the Clint Initiative podcast co-host? What's the one thing you want them to know?
Two things. He's a vampire. He never ages. He is the same as I saw him about a decade ago. He's the kindest person in this world. If you don't know
That's
him,
not true.
you're missing out. He is genuine, and this person is
That's kind of true.
smart beyond belief. All you do is talk to him once, and you'll be in love with him just like I've been in love with him for
But kisser.
Okay. So that was just a little snippet of, and just, you know, film festivals isn't our future. Once we actually start shooting our short films and our feature films, and there are like major film festivals right here in Minnesota. So for us to be a part of those film festivals, we don't even have to leave the state. So that's I want to sort of show that to everyone, and to just let everyone be able to see that. So anybody have any comments about that, or are we ready to move on?
Film festival. What do you think, before we move on, what do you think should be our first shot to enter to the film festival?
Well, I tell you what, that's a discussion for offline. That's one of those offline. Because in order for you to enter something in the film festival, you have to have already finished production. You have to have a product.
Normally, like right now is when the films are being looked over to be shown in the film festival. Everything is being submitted right now.
Yep. I went onto their website and took a look, and yeah, people are already submitting films. And the film festival is not going to be until near the end of the year, October or
Yeah, it's usually
around
the last 2 weeks in October.
Okay, so yeah, and that takes us to our next part of the show, which is our Bible bracket. Now, a show Bible, which is what we're showing to folks who watch the show. A show Bible is a document that outlines the characters, plots, settings, and themes of a television series. Writers pitch show Bibles to network executives and production companies in the hopes that it will procure a production agreement. So, what does someone have a radio playing in the background? You hear that?
Me.
I was gonna
I'm hearing it.
yeah, like a girl talking or something. There
Okay.
it is.
There's nobody here but me. And my dogs don't talk.
It might be a ghost. So
My dogs don't talk. She's not
this
here.
week, our Bible, and normally the Bible is only for television shows, but I'm using it for everything that we're doing. So if someone were to come to me and ask, how can I help? What do you have in the pipeline? I can just lay it all out to them in our Bible, which is virtual, and it's also something that is, I have a hard copy as well. Right now, we're pitching our show Bible to our audience so that they will support us. Now, in our first 4 weeks, we had, let's see here, we had Cybernetic competing against Sentient, and Sentient won. Sentient is about the first sentient zombie. So it's a zombie movie. Next, we had Losing Myself competing with Maria Trout. Maria Trout won, and Maria Trout is all about social media and about people competing for social media. And then we had Straw compete against Rage Clicks. and Straw won. Straw is about straw gun purchases. And then we had John Long that competed against against Thumpers. Bible Thumpers would be too on the nose for a title, so I just used Thumpers. And of course, John Long won that battle. And now, last week we had Habits competing with Respect, and Habits won. And Habits is all about how the habits in our lives can have outcomes that are like unexpected. And when those things happen in our lives, they can have a profound effect. So it's about our habits and how they affect our lives. So next, we have grave decisions and cross country. And with grave decision and cross countries, you guys will be able to let me know using our rating system whether it sticks, whether it needs more work, or whether we can forget about it. So that's our rating system. If it sticks, it sticks. Perhaps it needs more work, or perhaps we just need to forget about it. Now, the two films we currently have up for discussion is Grave Decisions and Cross Country. And what I did was I went online and I created some AI movie posters for the different films. So right now we're going to discuss Grave Decisions.
It looks like somebody died there.
Yeah, I don't know if you've seen those roadside grave markers.
Yeah, seen them a lot in movies.
Yeah, you see them a lot but you're driving along, you'll see these roadside markers of where tragedies have happened, where people have died. And Roman is driving along and he sees one of those roadside grave markers. And from the moment that he sees it, he can't erase it from his mind. He just keeps thinking about it and thinking about it. And he knows he has to go back to that roadside grave marker. He knows he has to go back. It's just he's compelled to do it. So he goes back to that roadside grave marker and basically he gets he's talking to a woman there who is actually the one who that grave marker is for. And in conversation he realizes that, and then she gives him a mission, something he has to do, because she can't rest until the person that caused that grave marker to be there is actually brought to justice. Okay? So that's Grave Decisions. The next one is, let me bring it up here. The next movie up for consideration, or idea up for consideration from our Bible, is Cross Country. And as you can tell, AI is goofy, man. It just does all kinds of crazy stuff. But Cross Country is a very simple story. Back in the 80s, Bruce Springsteen, after after one of his albums, he traveled cross country from New York to California. So, and he had a friend he took along with him. So that inspired me to write a story about a rock star who's famous, traveling from coast to coast with a friend of his he's known since childhood. And the one thing he doesn't know about that childhood friend is that he is a serial killer. So as they make stops in each place, and the rock star is, maybe doing a show here or there, maybe just laying low, talking to his fans that sort of figure him out. This guy is committing murder. So the story follows them in a cross country trip. And it sort of shows what happens once, yeah, he discovers that, yeah, there's more to this guy than meets the eye. And then he has to discover what he's going to do when he discovers his childhood friend that he's been traveling coast to coast with is a serial killer. So those are our two choices this week. Our two choices are cross country or grave decisions. So, who wants to go first and give their thoughts?
Ladies, lady,
Okay,
not Jamel, lady.
okay, Katie, which
Really
one do you think really sticks, needs more work, or we can forget about it?
I think the one that is stick for me was the grave. I just, yeah, I like that. I kind of like that twist at the end, and I'd be curious to see how the mission would play out. And the other one, I like it, but maybe later, more work.
Okay, so you're gonna go with grave decisions, and you're saying cross country needs just a little more work. I saw that Jamel wanted to put his input in. So, Jamel, which one are you picking, man?
Well, they're both good choices. One, yeah, it's like, okay, you got two childhood friends and they're traveling from New York to LA. Maybe, who knows, that one is trying to become a big star in LA and the other one is just tagging along as support, but also doing his things secretly while they travel. Um, so to me, either one would be fine. And grave decisions, that one's more so like, getting into the paranormal world where that person that can see the woman, he has certain heightened senses, or maybe it could be even a superpower if you look at it in that aspect. So for me, it could go either way.
Excellent. And now we're gonna get the feedback. So no, but if you had to pick one, Jamel, which one would you pick? You gotta pick one. You
Come
gotta
back
pick.
to come back to me on that, and I'll give it some more thought.
Okay. Okay. So now we've got one vote so far for grave decisions. Cross country needs more work. And now we're going to go to our tiebreaker, or maybe the guy with the plan. We're going to go to Clint. Clint.
Who, me? I already made my decision when you started talking, so I'm going to be straightforward with you. I'm with Great. Although Jamel just planning a debate, I'm going to say, and then he might try to disagree with me. I know that move. I know you, bro. I know you. I agree with Katie. Grave decision. I feel it totally. It's because I'm more into the paranormal. I love the story about it. It gives me a bit of a ghost whisperer, that drama that used to be back on. It gives me more of that feel. And I love dealing with, I like movies that talks about the other side. I could see where the story going. And at the same time, the story could also be unpredictable. Cross country, it's a knee. It doesn't stick with me because for some reason I can't really feel it. I can't tell if it's going to be like a comedy or horror. It gives me a bit of American Psycho, but it just doesn't really stick to me. Really, I don't know. Maybe if we put in some work in it, it wouldn't feel as cliche to me.
Okay. Well, just to give you a little bit more background on that, I love the idea of being able to travel from coast to coast and show different parts of America, and to show how when things happen like a murder, there's always one cop who knows exactly who did it. There's always one detective who, when something happens, it sticks with them. And I love that you guys are looking at grave decisions, because I'm sure we've all drove by those roadside markers where we know a tragedy has happened. We ride by them all the time, and we just, sometimes you just want to know what happened. Sometimes it just sticks with you. I have more than one. I have some that I had to go and find the story with one or two of them, because there were just so much of an outpouring of love, and an outpouring of their loss. And in the story, through talking to those people and exploring their loss, he's able to find out exactly what happened and why. And not only does he learn something, the spirit who hopefully can finally rest learn something. But then again, sometimes anger can sort of flip the script on things. So, with that being said, Jamel, you're on the spot now, man. Which
All
one
right.
would you?
So now that
What's the winner this week?
now we have more of a description of each one of grave decisions, and just thinking about it more.
I'm going to go with
Cross
grave decision.
country, I would say
Cross country.
they're both good. They're both good. I like cross country and I like grave decisions. Now look at it in this twist. So this is me thinking outside the box. Grave decisions, right? You have the woman that passed and she wants justice of them finding the person that did this, right? That plays into cross country. They're going across country. He's a serial killer doing all these killings, right? And they don't know who's doing the killings. And she's the one that wants to have the justice to find this guy to bring him in. Think about it in that aspect. So first, grave decisions.
Okay.
Oh, like mashup. Okay.
Correct.
So it looks like the winner this week is grave decisions.
Yeah, because Jamal really haven't really picked which one. So we're gonna go with that with grave decision.
Yes, I did say grave decisions, Clint.
You said you picked that one.
I said grave decisions. I said grave decisions because Katie said, yeah, kind of like a mashup. And I'm like, yeah, so I go with grave decisions.
You combined the both. I didn't hear you pick.
No.
Maybe I missed it. Something wrong with my ear. So I missed
grave decisions.
Canva.
Thank you, Katie.
Which leads
okay,
into
guys. So we have our winner. Our winner is grave decisions, and it looks like it wasn't an easy choice, but it definitely is going to be great once we're able to start actually producing some of these films and being able to get someone to do a real poster and not something generated by AI.
AI doing a lot these days.
Say again?
AI. It seems like as though AI want to take over. It's doing a lot.
I know, it's scary.
Yeah, it's pretty soon. It's like no one would have needs for like photographers.
What's scary about it?
They taking over all the jobs. All the jobs.
You think so?
I'm afraid they might even replace the actors.
I literally asked my Alexa, how will the world end? If you ask your Alexa, she's going to say either some meteor or whatever, or electronics take over. So the fact that my Alexa is saying that is a little scary.
Well, moving on with the show, I want to talk about our music and give a great update. I didn't prepare a graphic for this, but I am going to prepare one next week when hopefully we'll be joined by our new music director. We now have a music director for the show. Her name is Vixen Noir. That's Vixen Noir. Her website, of course, is vixennoir.com. And she's going to come on as our music director. And she is going to sort of help us put together the soundtrack for our for what we're going to be doing, and especially to work on our EP that we will be offering to our founders and our inner circle. So um, hopefully the show can continue to grow so that we can actually really make it happen with the EP. And now that we got a music director, the one thing that I can say for sure is that the theme song that we opened the show with is going to get infinitely better than what I was able to come up with. So that's one of the things I want to talk about, how I came up with the idea for the show. I came up with the idea for the show when I was riding around doing DoorDash and listening to Minnesota Public Radio. And one of the things that they do on Minnesota Public Radio, which is like what we're doing, is asking for support from the audience. But in addition to asking for support for the audience, um, I wanted to talk about how I got the idea for the show. There was this choir, professional choir, that was featured on the show, and the way they work is, if you show up, you're a member of the choir, and you get an opportunity to sing. So the more I thought about it, I wanted to do the same thing for actors. As someone who has acted before, as someone who has done different productions and things before, I wanted to go ahead and provide an opportunity for actors to do the very same thing. If you show up, you will get to be a part of our podcast. You will get to be a part of our sketch show. And from the podcast and the sketch show, we will choose our actors for our short films and our feature films. So it gives everyone an opportunity to be a part of the choir, as it were. So to support us, in, just like Minnesota Public Television, we're asking for people's support. And there are three ways right now that they can support us. We have our Patreon initiative, we have our Coffee initiative, and we have our GoFundMe initiative. Either of those ways, people can support us. Patreon.com, the Clint Initiative. On Coffee, we're the Clint Initiative Podcast. And on GoFundMe, they can look us up on GoFundMe. It's the same thing as the Clint Initiative Podcast. So that's a little bit about background on how I came up with the show, how I, and the different ways that people can support us. And so far, we have been getting support. This is our second live show, and as you can tell, there are some growing pains. But everyone is here from the very beginning to see us grow and to see us become more. And we have our founders and our inner circle. And our founders and our inner circle is all about equity crowdfunding. So when people give money to help us grow, it's not like regular crowdfunding where people give you the money and then that's it. But equity crowdfunding, when we're successful, we will also share that success with the people that actually contribute, as part of our founders and our inner circle. And what I want to do right now is I want to show what that can lead to. But while I'm doing that, do you guys have any input from that to that? Anything to say? Okay.
I could hear a pin drop somewhere.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to, like I said, growing pains.
We were so silent.
Yeah, I got to the limit of things that I can. I wanted to put up the slide. Of course, that's for the slide is for the people who can actually see the visual. But I wanted to talk again about the success that other that is possible. But right now I need to make space. This happened last week too, so even though I thought I had it down, okay, so there we go. When I talk
Talk
about our
to
founders and our
me.
inner circle, I want to talk about how independent films have been successful. Recently, the film Talk to Me, with only a budget of 4.5 million, they made 92 million during their box office run. Blair Witch Project, for just a budget of $60,000, they made over 248 million. And then, of course, there's Paranormal Activity. Paranormal Activity was made with a budget of $16,000. And then their box office run, they made $194 million. And the way it was able to do that is because of all the word of mouth and the way that they were able to hype that movie up to the point where just with a budget of 16,000, they were able to make that movie into a phenomenon. People still talk about it. And that's why we want to, you know, have people join us on Patreon, which is free. We want to have people join us on GoFundMe. Even joining there is free. And our coffee initiative is the same thing. It's always free to join, and anything that people give to help us, it is definitely appreciated. Now, what I want to do in the last few moments is I want to talk about some of the things that we have coming up. I talk about the sketch show, and just like with the show Bible, I'm going to sort of share some of the ideas we have for the sketch show. Some of our things from the Bible for the sketch show as well. So that way people will know what we have in mind in the coming episodes of the show. And also, once we do build the audience, one of the things that we're going to have is we're going to have an episode that's just Ask Us Anything, where people get to ask us about what we're doing with the show, and they can ask us anything. But like they say, just because you ask doesn't mean you got to answer, huh? You guys hear that music starting?
Yeah, time to break dance.
Can you actually break dance?
I used to do it way back in the days. Way back. But I could dance the choreography. That's it. Once you give me choreography, I could do it. I used to spin on my head and all that.
Yeah, once again, it's been a great show. I want to mention again that we are looking for animators, because one of the ways that we can present our ideas is with animation. I'm sort of playing around with some animation software, and next week I'm probably going to show some things that I've done. But this is the time where we wind down the show. It's been another great hour, guys. And as I said, our audience is growing, and hopefully it will continue to grow. So, what are your final words to our audience, Katie?
I want to say thank you. Gracias por venir, para vernos, pasar el día con nosotros. Thank you for coming and watching us. Keep sharing, supporting, and just show some love.
Okay. And what are your final words, Clint?
Well, I would just like to say thank you for having me in your home, having all of us in your home. I hope that we put some smiles in your faces. And for those of you who are feeling down, I have a little something for you. Did you want to see me broken, bowed head and lowered eyes, shoulder falling down like teardrops, weakened by my soulful cries? You may shoot me with your words, you may cut me with your eyes, you may kill me with your hatefulness, but still like air, I'll rise.
Well, all right. Somebody was definitely prepared this week. So now,
Hey!
Amen. Here we go, man. What are your final words to our audience?
Your mic.
You're
We're not
muted,
hearing
Jay.
you. Your mic. We're not hearing you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone, for watching and sharing and commenting. We do love your support and continue to help us grow. As always, please like, comment, and share right here on YouTube, or you can buy us a cup of coffee at coffee, and that's ko-fi.com. And we have our other platforms as well. So we just enjoy your company and just enjoy you being here and showing love.
Okay. And I'm just going to say, if anyone wants to be a part of the podcast, if anyone wants to join us, or they want more information, they can always contact us at theclintpodcast@gmail.com. That is my final word, is that we want our audience to actually be involved. So if you really feel that you want to be a part of the show, here you go. Email us, and believe it or not, just like with the Mill City Singers here in Minnesota, I will get you right on the air. You'll be able to talk to us, interact, and it will really help our show grow. With that, another Thursday is in the books, team. How are you feeling? Well, okay. Remember, there's a podcast. Nothing said, nothing is heard. So with that, we're going to end this week of the Clint Initiative podcast, and we will be back next Thursday to entertain you and to let you know more about what we're doing at the Clint Initiative. See you guys next week. Bye.
Love you guys.